Welcome to In the Spotlight. Today we will be talking to Hiram's very own Miss Barber about real-world things that high school does not teach you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
I hope you can share some of your wisdom and help Hiram students prepare for success as they venture beyond the classroom.
Absolutely.
Starting off, let's talk about what's important to manage responsibility. Money. My first question is, what is a credit score and how does it impact your financial life?
All right, so great question. So a credit score is going to impact you. Basically, a credit score is how reliable you are at keeping up with your payments, paying on time. It can affect you in lots of different ways, from the interest rates that you get on loans, and having adult children now, I've learned that your credit score also even impacts applying for an apartment and how many deposits you have to put down for utilities and stuff. So very important to be concerned about it.
I agree. And is it important to create and manage a budget? And how would you recommend people to allocate their money?
So absolutely important to keep a budget. One of the things that I learned very early on was that if I don't write things down, that I spend lots of money at places like Starbucks and Target. So knowing going into the month, here's how much money that we have to spend on these things, definitely makes it a lot easier to not just blow money on things and then at the end of the month wonder where all my money went.
So taxes are something that we all deal with, but they can also be confusing, which I feel like everyone can agree on. How can current high schoolers learn how taxes work and how to pay them?
So one thing that again, just kind of looking back at my experience, and then also I have a 23-year-old and a 20-year-old, and one of the things that we've had to kind of go along with them is, taxes pay for all of our public utilities, and it pays for, infrastructure and public education. And so kind of going into it, I don't know that they had a great understanding of exactly what it was. All they saw was the money that was kind of coming out. So that was one thing that we kind of talked about. One thing with paying taxes, my daughter did DoorDash for a while, and so she had to pay her taxes quarterly to keep up with things, and that really got her on a budget to know how to do that. We also learned that the public libraries do tax seminars for usually older adults, but also teenagers that need help kind of getting their taxes filed that very first time.
Okay, so money is important, but time is even more so. So how would you prioritize tasks and manage time efficiently?
So I am a 90s girl at heart, and I am, as much as I love digital technology, I am still very analog. I have a paper calendar that people tease me about. One of the most important things is to write things down. If I have something that's coming up, I've got it on the calendar. Another thing that I do is every day I try and just set an intention for the day, and it could be something like, getting an assignment graded or, finishing a task, because when you become in your mid-40s, what you realize is that time flies by so quickly, and there are lots of days that if I don't have an intention and know what I'm doing, I kind of forget even what was going on that day. So just really kind of being mindful of what your tasks are and what you're supposed to be doing.
So how do you manage your mental health and your stress during, because a lot of this sounds like a lot.
A little bit, yes.
So how would you manage, or how would you advise someone to manage that?
So I would say that mental health, I think, has become so much less stigmatized over the years, and it is 100% okay to say, I'm not okay, and to ask for help when you need it. As far as managing stress, I would say that just kind of going into things, I try to be a very positive person, which I'm also teased, and that I'm the Pollyanna, but it's not just about pretending to be happy. I do try and find the joy in even the little things. And, we all have hardships. I've had lots of hardships, especially over the past couple of years, but just trying to find joy can really help me with my mental health if I can kind of focus in on that, especially when times are a little tough.
So as an adult, you do need to know how to cook. So how important of a skill would you say is cooking? And would you recommend that anyone should learn how to cook?
So As an adult, it is important to know how to cook so that you don't have to call your mother because you set off the fire alarm because you made a grilled cheese by putting slices of bread and cheese in a toaster. So that would be the first one. And she knows that I tell that story, so it's okay. So I would say yes, cooking is important. Cooking to me also is like cooking and then, just the communion of sitting down and having food. It's such a social thing. So knowing how to cook, that prevents you from always being that person that has to bring the plates and the drinks to any kind of party. And it's just a good skill for all of us to have because we just never know what's going to, come up in the future.
So what about networking? I've heard that if you are not actively looking for opportunities, then you won't really see them pass by.
So I think networking is a very important thing. I think certain jobs lend themselves to that more than others. Definitely being a teacher, you're always kind of networking with other people in the county, which is important. If you decide that you want to make a move, when you know people at other places, it makes it that much easier to do. I do think that networking allows us to practice our soft skills of being able to talk to each other. And definitely being able to set ourselves out there so that people know who we are.
Well, thank you so much for your time,
Of course.
Ms. Barber. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. We all appreciate the information that will help us all as we leave high school and beyond.
Absolutely.
So on that note, I hope everyone learned something today, especially the seniors that will be graduating this year. As a recap, today we talked about cooking, mental health, time management, networking, credit, budgeting, and taxes. So if you would like to rewatch this at any time, then you can find it on the Hiram High School YouTube channel. As always, have a great day, and remember, no ceilings. Thank you.